What's going on, everybody? It's another episode of Left Side Heavy, the podcast, presented by Blue Wire Hustle. I'm your host, Jevin Lefebvre. You can follow me on Instagram at Jevin.Lefebvre, on Twitter at Jevin Lefebvre. Find everything for the show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Left Side Heavy _. Be sure to head to the YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Left Side Heavy. You can find full episode podcasts there. Little PSA. I screwed up. I forgot to press the setting for my good microphone that I'm currently using for this opening segment, and I used the MacBook Pro microphone instead. So the audio might be a little bad on my part, so I apologize in advance for that. But I brought back Haydn, and we talked week 3, previewed week 4, and some players of the week that we enjoyed and any of the big moments, how bad the Eagles played, and just how good the Cowboys played. We talked about Tom Brady and Matt Stafford. We talked about Hayden's Saints versus my Pats. Justin Tucker hitting it from 66. It was a very good week of football, very good episode to record, and I hope you guys enjoy. Peace out. It's episode 59 of Left Side Heavy, the podcast, presented by Blue Wire Hustle. I'm your host, Jevin Lefebvre. You know where to follow me on Instagram at Jevin.Lefebvre, on Twitter at Jevin Lefebvre. Find everything for the show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Left Side Heavy _. Be sure to head to the YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel Left Side Heavy to find all the full episode podcasts. Today I'm bringing on my guy, Haydn Barton. How's it going, you pigeon?
What can I say? Let's go Saints. Who dat, baby? Who dat?
A very average game, but your team did come out on top against my Patriots.
You know what? It's a win.
It is. It is a win. Man, that O-line was invincible for Mac. Wide receivers couldn't catch, and Mac Jones couldn't throw an accurate deep ball. And that's just 3 components of a bad offense. And yeah, we just couldn't put anything together. So it sucks to suck. But how's your week been, brother? Despite this past weekend where we watched football Sunday together, but how was your Monday to Friday?
Oh, it was good, man. Leading up to it, the whole weekend or the whole week, it was kind of a vibe. I was really excited. The whole weekend was good. Football all weekend. Going to Lions game. And those
How
are
was
becoming
that?
more fun. Oh, they're becoming way more fun, man. Like, I wish more people, could realize that football's also in Canada too,
Yeah.
and it's not just the NFL. And the Lions secretly, like, top 3 team in the West, could easily make a run for the Grey Cup this year.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't really followed it that much, but like the days when the Lions were an absolute wagon,
Mm-hmm.
it was amazing. It was unreal
Oh
to
yeah.
watch.
No,
Like
100%.
the Dave Dickinson days, the G. Roy Simons,
Manny Arsenault, Casey Printers.
Casey Printers,
Oh my God.
that guy.
Brett Johnson, defensive lineman, Cameron Wake.
Yeah, Cam Wake. That's a name that can actually be familiarized down in the States because he had a pretty good NFL career.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we need to get up to a Lions game. I know you've asked me a few times ago, but it's just been bad timing, and I've had other stuff that to take care of. But
Yeah, no, I get that.
I'm sure if someone else asked me, I would have said yes. But it just depends. Chirps. Love you, buddy. But yeah, let's kickstart this the week 3 of the NFL season. If you had to, describe this NFL week in, a short sentence, how would you describe it?
Just this week in general?
Yeah.
Man. Eventful. Very eventful. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even a sentence, it's just a word.
Yeah.
Eventful.
Yeah, because if I had to describe this week was Adam Schefter was busy. because the amount
Oh,
of times he
100%.
the amount of times he tweeted out, this guy is out, or this guy has been carted off, this guy's limping on the sideline. It was like, man, it was like every 10 minutes there's a tweet from Schefter saying Saquon Barkley's couldn't,
Hobbling off the
yeah,
field.
hobbling off the field and limping on the sideline.
James
Like,
White is injured with a hip, like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's just, man, no
yeah,
one
it
can
was
stay
pretty
on the
brutal.
field. It was brutal, but we'll start it off Thursday night football. I was working in the trenches down at Leo's making pizzas, delivering some pizzas. But the Panthers knock off the Texans 24-9. Davis Mills makes his first career start. He came in for Tyrod last week when he went off the field hurt, but he makes his first start, 19 for 28, 160 yards, one touchdown. Nothing crazy, but I can see him having like a decent career, or maybe like a Nick Foles kind of career if he doesn't quite get the starting job, where he can be a guy who can maybe come in and, or like just like a good backup where when your team is up, then he can come in and just manage the game or
Hmm.
like that kind of thing. Mind you, I don't know how often he's going to be up in a game when he's on the Texans.
Very true.
So
No, very
it
true.
just depends. But Sam Darnold had a pretty good game. No touchdown pass, but 300 yards passing. Um, yeah, what were your thoughts on this game, man?
Wait, Sam Darnold, no touchdown pass? Are you sure about that one?
He ran in for a touchdown.
Hold on.
It said 0-0 on
Yeah, no, he had
his box
two. He had
score.
two rushing touchdowns. My God,
Yeah.
I was the one watching the game, and I can't even fucking remember it. Yeah, no. I mean, like, going back to with Davis Mills, right? Like, I know you didn't watch a lot of the game, but I was over watching it with my mom, and even my mom was like, "Why does this guy keep getting hit?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's just the Texans O line, mom."
It's
Like,
the Texans on the line. That's all you gotta
and
say.
yeah, exactly. And this guy, Davis Mills, I Nick Foles, you said in mine, and that's almost spot on
Yeah.
because this guy, he's in the perfect situation right now. He has nothing to lose, so he's just gonna come out there and yeah, put his dick on the table and just say, you know what, someone else come sign me, please.
Yeah. Like
So I like Davis Mills. I like him.
he was the number one QB recruited out of high school for a reason.
Hmm.
Like he's a good pocket passer. He went to Stanford. He only started 5 games, I think, and he was 4-1, but he played in 11 college games, but he started 5. But like it was rumored that if uh the Pats didn't get Mac Jones at 15, then they were going to wait and draft Davis Mills in the second or third round. And
And that wouldn't have been bad.
I would have been happy with Davis Mills because I knew him and I knew that he had the talent to be a good quarterback. And
Hmm.
he fits the Pats system very well. Like I think that if you can buy him an O-line, then he can really do some decent work in this league. And I think he's got a bright future ahead. Like I think the Texans, if they had like, unfortunately, because Tyrod was actually playing decent,
Decent.
and I think he could have really helped Davis Mills, like get groomed and ready because Tyrod's a pretty solid veteran in this league. He
Hmm.
knows what it's like to hustle to that starting position, right? So I think Davis Mills, he's in a good spot right now. Like you said, like he doesn't really have anything to lose.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then flip the side to Carolina, it's clear that Darnold and DJ Moore have a connection, and no CMC now for a little bit. So,
Yeah.
Chuba's gonna get a lot of the workload, but even the Panthers, man, I have a little segment that I want to kind of interest you on in a little bit later, but yeah, we'll leave the Panthers talk.
Is Brandon Cook slept on?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I
Are
feel
you
like
kidding me?
he's very overlooked, and including myself, I keep overlooking him, and then I realize every stat sheet I go to, he's over 100
He
receiving
always
yards.
has 100 receiving yards and at least 10 or 12 targets, like there was a reason the Saints drafted him in the first round. There was
Yeah.
a reason that the Pats went out and signed him after he wanted like super big money from the Saints, and then he just couldn't get that. And then there was a reason why the Rams, brought him in for what they did. And then the Texans now, it's kind of like a dumping ground, but it's like someone should make a trade for Brandon Cooks. And
I
honestly,
think
I was thinking, oh,
I was just gonna say, like, I really think a contender could trade for him
oh yeah.
come trade
Oh
deadline.
yeah. 100%. Expect to see that actually
Yeah.
from a team that needs wide receivers. And, with Josh Gordon now coming back into the league, signed by Kansas City,
Yep.
I thought he was going to be on the market for a little bit. He was signed right away. So, yeah, any contending team, sign Brandon Cooks. Trade for him, sorry. Trade for Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, because he's like a solid. I mean, he's doing very well. He obviously did very well with a QB making his first start and the number one um, option against a pretty good defense in Carolina. Unfortunately, J.C. Horn placed on the IR today with a broken foot, but J.C. Horn's a good press with man-to-man coverage corner, and Brandon Cook still got 112 yards on 9 receptions. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't really, you got to give the man his credit because he's top five receiving yards in the league on the Texans. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people were expecting that.
No, not at all.
But yeah, we'll touch a bit more on the Pat Saints game. Saints do take it 20-13. One note I want to say is Jonnu Smith, if you're brought in for big money, learn how to catch a fucking ball.
I agree. I agree.
Like, there's three straight targets that were put right to his hands or his numbers, and he
Mm-hmm.
dropped them.
Yeah, and at least, and you can see one of them cost a pick six right there.
Like, what was he even doing? It wasn't a bad throw by Mac Jones whatsoever. It was right. He led the receiver. He led him perfectly,
Yep.
and Janu just trips on something random, and next thing you know, he's
Next
doing a
thing you know,
some.
Malcolm Jenkins has it going the other way.
Yeah, and like Jonu Smith is doing like a somersault on the field somehow. Like he
Yeah.
fell over. Like I was so confused when I saw that. But I mean, Saints defense came to play, um,
Hmm.
and yeah, like they just kind of wreaked havoc on Mac Jones all game. And I wouldn't want to be a Pats player on practices as we're recording today on
Not
Monday.
not this week, man.
Yeah, no, that I said when we were watching the game together, I said it. I'm like, this is one of the worst Patriots games I've watched.
Oh
Like they're
yeah.
just not playing good at all. And it's really frustrating to see because you know the capabilities of these players. Like they're much better than you think or like what they're
They're
showing.
professionals.
Yeah. They made the league for a
Yeah.
reason, so yeah, I was very disappointed, but I mean, there's growing pains. We're not expected. We're 50-50 playoff team this year. Some people had us making it as a wild card. Some people had us not having a chance. But last week I said I want to see Mac Jones stretch the field a bit more, and then whenever he did try and stretch the field, he overthrew every single receiver. So I don't know what to do now. Like I have no idea what direction they should go, but
Fuck. After that
we'll
one, I
see.
mean, like, he's a rookie, right? Like, as much as I hate to say it, but it's like you're gonna have growing pains, right? Like, look
Yeah,
at all the five rookies or six rookie quarterbacks that started this week, right? The best performing one was Davis Mills.
yeah,
Obviously Lance couldn't really get on the field, so that's kind of like not, I guess, not a good example, but every one of them looked like a rookie quarterback. Even tonight, as we talk and as we finished and watched the Monday night game, Jalen Hurts, you could really still consider him a rookie. He hasn't played a full season,
that was a
and
seventh
he
start in the
looked
NFL.
Yeah, and he looked like a rookie.
Yeah, he played decent in the from the last half of the third quarter. He only had like one good quarter that
Mm-hmm.
game, and it was like the second half of the third to the first half of the fourth. And then
Yeah.
he's the type of quarterback where he can't really play catch up. Like he
No.
struggles when he has to throw the team back into the game. He's good when they're like rolling and have momentum, but if they don't have momentum, I don't think Hurts is going to bring you back. But anyway,
Mm-mm.
yeah, rookie quarterbacks wasn't their week, hasn't necessarily been their start of the season, but I've been advocating this. I'm not going to be the guy that judges on rookie quarterbacks way too early. For all we know, Zach Wilson could end up as the greatest quarterback of all time, and he's thrown how
Seven
many
interceptions.
7 interceptions. Like Peyton Manning has the record for most INTs in a season, or by a rookie quarterback or whatever. And look at that, he's
Yeah, look at him.
top five quarterback of all time, arguably top two.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And so don't put any label on these rookies right now. But
100%. I just want to touch on one more thing too
yeah, go
for
for it.
all the Saints fans out there. Maybe it's just me. This new Saints offense with Jameis Winston, they're not going to be a passing team until Jameis becomes more comfortable with the offense. I heard a stat today where Drew Brees, it took him 5 games to actually throw for over 200 yards in his first 5 starts. And what are we seeing right now? Jameis Winston hasn't thrown over 150 yards. Okay. We know that he's a gunslinger. We know that this guy likes to take shots. And he has 7 touchdowns and 2 picks on the very early season. So he's going to be efficient just because the Saints are a defensive team that loves to run the ball and control the clock.
Yeah,
And with the Pats, again, Mac Jones, I feel like he just needs a competent wide receiver one, someone that's his safety blanket. And I don't know if Jacoby Myers can be that. I think he can. Again, he's going to need more time. I wish Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry could be a little bit more than what they are right now.
yeah, I agree.
But Rome wasn't built in a day, so give it some time. It's funny how we overreact. It's like week 3,
Yeah,
and it's like the whole world is burned
I
down.
know, I know. It's the way it goes. But second game on the sheet here, Washington versus Buffalo. Buffalo take them down 43-21. Josh Allen,
Man,
he could be up there for player of the week this week. 32 for 34 on passing, 358 yards for 4 touchdowns. He came to play. And
yeah.
I yeah, give me your thoughts on the game, but I think the general thought is
Where is this Washington defense?
yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes me kind of think like, what have we been looking at the past,
Yeah.
couple of months here with how good this Washington defense is on paper? This defense is like the most ferocious, young but talented, touted defense we've ever seen.
Yeah.
But they've allowed the most points in the NFL.
I know.
Like it's crazy. And Josh Allen really said, "Yeah, no, we actually have a better defense." And who who's like who's their best player on defense? Would you think like Tre'Davious White, a corner?
Yeah.
And it's like I don't know. I don't know what to make of this game really. Although Josh Allen, this game takes him for early MVP candidate and last game right off the Pittsburgh, right off the Pittsburgh game. This guy has MVP candidate written all over him right now.
Do you think he's front runner?
Oh, easily right now after the back-to-back performances, 5 touchdowns in back-to-back weeks for the Bills offense. So all commanded by Josh Allen.
Uh, Emmanuel Sanders resurgence. Two
uh,
two titties on the day.
this offense reminds me so much. of the Cardinals right now. You look at the receivers and you got Diggs, you got Hopkins,
Yeah.
and then you got old receivers and AJ Green, and then you got Emmanuel Sanders. And then you got some young receivers. You got Gabriel Davis and Rondale Moore. And then you got like those serviceable PPR guys, Christian Kirk and Cole Beasley. Like this is like the same offense mirrored. Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, James Conner, um, ah,
Chase Edmonds.
Chase Edmonds. Thank you so much. Like, tell me that the AFC and the NFC aren't being mirrored right now with the Cardinals and the Bills.
Yeah, it's almost like KC and Dallas.
Exactly.
Top heavy with the offense and kind of suspicious defense.
Mediocre defense. Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, exactly.
But yeah, Buffalo is kind of showing who they were last game after a slow start to the season. But moving on to the third game, the Bears played the best game in franchise history, unfortunately losing to the Browns 26-6. Let me just list off the Browns. 19 for 30, Mayfield 19 for 31, 246, one touchdown, nothing crazy, right? Nothing crazy. Kareem Hunt, I think he was player of the game this game. He had 155 total yards with a touchdown. OBJ makes his return, 5 receptions for 77 yards. And the Bears' total offense was 47 yards.
What was it like? It was the second worst offensive performance of all time. What was like their average play was like 1.1 yards. Do you know how hard it is to get 1.1 yards a play?
It's impossible.
Like, and
Yeah.
and Justin Fields, he finished the game with
6 for 20, 68 yards.
Yeah, and then he had like 69 yards of like sacks because he got sacked 9 times or something like that, and he finished with negative passing yards because that for some reason counts towards passing yards when you get sacked.
I think it's because like the line of scrimmage pushed back.
Yeah, no, it just
No,
I
but
don't know,
it
like
makes sense. I
when
still
you
don't.
rush, right?
Yeah, I still don't think that it should count towards your pat, and it doesn't because it still says he had 68 passing yards, but
Technically, yeah,
advanced analytics he had negative yards, but
yeah,
no one really pays attention to that. But yeah, he. What did Myles Garrett have? Like 4 sacks that game?
4.5 sacks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Myles Garrett. That's why I chose him for defensive
for the
player of the
sack.
year.
Yeah,
I chose him
like
for
the sack
defensive
leader,
player of the
right?
year. Yeah, one of the two. I think I picked him for
I think it was
boy.
both.
Yeah, probably. I can't
Yeah.
remember. But yeah, not the Bears' best performance, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's like all this social media of like Fields should be starting. Why is Dalton still in? And then Fields gets in there and 6 for 20, 68 yards. Now everyone's like, I don't know anymore.
Do you remember when we were talking about last year when Jalen Hurts came in against the Saints for that like game,
Yeah.
his first game? That's what I thought that game was going to be like.
Yeah.
Because you look at the quarterbacks, they have the same prototypical style, pretty shit team. And what happens? There's no film on him, and he just runs. I thought they could have, and it was against like you look at the Saints and Cleveland's defense too, right? Like they're very, very similar as well. They have a great secondary and a great front seven. And what happened? Jalen Hurts ran all over them, and that's the unexpected of what I could have saw in this game, and it just didn't happen. And that's what I thought would
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, rough first game for Fields, man.
Yeah, I texted you. I was like, should I start Daniel Jones against Atlanta or Fields against Cleveland? Because Cleveland's defense wasn't really playing that well the first 2 weeks.
Mm-mm.
So I was like, he's a running quarterback. Bears offense isn't the worst. Darnell Mooney and A-Rob he's throwing to with David Montgomery in the backfield, and he can run as well.
Yep.
That's not the worst against a pretty or like a early
What seemed to be
disappointment
average.
early disappointment of a defense this season. and I'm just so happy I didn't.
Yeah, no
Because
kidding, right?
he just didn't play that well. But who knows if he plays better next time he starts? Only time will tell. But um, the next game, Ravens Lions,
Ho ho.
a lot closer than it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens edge out the Lions. I have 2 points for this one, and that's Marquise Brown drops. He drops. What did he have? Like three straight possessions where he dropped a potential
Yeah.
touchdown.
He had maybe three potential touchdowns that he dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that doesn't. That's just really frustrating for Lamar. I don't even know
Mm-hmm.
if Lamar like came up to him on the sideline after. Like I think he just like walked right past him or like if you're Lamar, you have to be pissed. You're like
Oh, 100%.
I dropped it in the bucket for you, and you dropped every single one of them.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks to the Ravens.
Fuck. That could be see that one could be scary if they put like, oh, I don't even know what you would trade for them, right? Because it's
Yeah, I
like
don't even know.
Baltimore doesn't have a first round pick next year
Yeah,
because they traded for the Chiefs. And yeah, no, it just shows how good of a running team the Ravens are. I think this game shows that they're the best
yeah,
run team because they missed three huge plays and yet they still won. Like
yeah,
that all works because they have a good run team.
yeah,
And the Lions could be frisky all season if they can control
yeah.
the clock.
Like I think Jared Goff is playing with a big chip on his shoulder. He's
Oh,
like, hey,
100%.
okay, I wasn't good enough for your team, then I'm just gonna. He's another guy who doesn't have a lot to lose. He's like, I was
No.
traded to a shitty Lions team. I'm just gonna go and throw as much as like I'm gonna take risks,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's been paying off for some of his throws. Like he's been having some good moments with the
Oh
Lions, which
yeah.
is something not a lot of people expected. But the big talking point for this game is, of course, Justin Tucker from 66 yards sets the NFL record for the longest field goal kicked in NFL history. What an absolute moment!
Oh, and it just made it so much more special. I know the significance of that whole play progression for me. I needed
Yeah,
that kick for me, my dad, and
yeah, the
our
pick'em,
brother-in-law.
yeah, the
Yeah, for
pick'em
our
league.
Survivor League. If that kick doesn't go in, we just lose $40 right down the drain. And it went in, and
Went in by like an
uh,
inch.
I hate it too because that play never should have happened.
Yeah, 2 seconds past the play clock, and they still
Yeah.
let the play go off. Yeah, should have been like 4th and 30 because
Hmm?
it was 4th and 20, was it not? Oh no,
No, no,
that was
no.
the play after that.
Yeah, the play
Um,
before the
yeah,
kick.
yeah, he
Yeah, it
threw.
was second and
Yeah,
like 10. Yeah.
yeah. I thought that was a fourth down that they converted on, but it,
No, no, yeah.
it wasn't. But yeah, that play shouldn't have happened. Like I think that is something that should never like happen. Like the
No.
one ref at least should always have an eye on the play clock.
And one of them does. Like I don't mind if it's like half a second to a second that it doesn't get called, but when you
Yeah,
actually like look and it says zeros like for a solid second and a half to 2 seconds, like come on, man.
yeah,
That's brutal. And look at like if that was your team, right? If that was the Saints versus Patriots and that was the way that we won, you're pissed.
yeah, 100%. Even the announcers, they were like counting down the clock, and they were like, "Gotta snap it, gotta spike it, gotta," and then they just like went silent. They're like, "Uh,
What happens now?
yeah," and they're like, ball is snapped," and Lamar throws it. Like,
Yeah.
how do you not call that? Like, that's very. And then you call a offensive lineman's shoulder moving, and you call a false start, but you can't watch a fucking play clock land on
Yeah.
zero for like a solid 2 seconds. Like, I think that NFL, man. their officiating this season is not off to a good start.
Mm-mm.
And like especially them implementing the taunting rules. I went over that last week. So, but
Yeah,
everyone,
no.
yeah, it's terrible. Like that, like you said, that play should have never happened.
Mm-mm.
But next game here, Arizona Jacksonville 31-19. Um Gus Johnson with the call. Agnew 109
Gus,
yards, touchdown reception. Yo, Gus Johnson might be the
yeah.
greatest announcer of all time.
I want Gus Johnson narrating and commentating my life, man.
Yeah.
Like that guy makes any play special. And holy shit, I cannot wait until the day the Saints get Gus Johnson on. Like if they play Arizona, it's gonna be the best fucking game ever.
Yeah.
Like holy shit, man.
You gotta like buy the Arizona feed just in case it's not on your side of the cable.
Yeah, literally. Fuck, do anything.
Yeah, just imagine like him announcing your life. He's going to the fridge at the 20, at the 10. Hayden
He's going for a beer. He
Barton.
gets the beer. He shotguns the beer. Oh, he does it in record time. Yeah, no, that would just be fucking hilarious. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, man, Gus Johnson gives you chills every time, every
Every
time.
time.
Yeah, but yeah, Lawrence, another iffy game for him. Wasn't the greatest, but this game was kind of like weird. Like Arizona obviously made it a lot closer than it should have been, similar to the Ravens, but
Yes.
Arizona still took care of business like they should have. You know, that was a
Mm-hmm.
game that they should have won and they ultimately did. Kyler Murray was my front runner for MVP. I think this game kind of like takes two steps back for him
Yeah.
because I think he needed to show a bit more this game. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I think yeah, Arizona took care of business. And I mean that kick return was magic. Matt Prater was going for the NFL
Yeah, for the record
record,
on that 68 yarder. Yeah.
68 yarder. But imagine Justin Tucker, like say those games were reversed, and then he kicks a 66 yarder, and then like the next slate after Prater hits a
Prater
68.
kicks a 68. Oh my god, dude. That'd be like
Yeah.
that one race in the Olympics this year where the record was broken 3 times. The person who came in third broke it. The person who came in second broke it, and the person who came in first broke it. Like I couldn't imagine breaking a record and then losing.
It's like, bruh,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
And now that you say that, like a little like throwback to tight end days, but Jimmy Graham breaking the record for the most receiving yards by tight end. 20 minutes later, after the Patriots game, Gronk breaks it by 17 yards. It's like, what the fuck, man?
What's your
Like,
deal, bro?
yeah, what the hell?
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Next game, Chargers Chiefs. My opinion, game of the week. This was the game of the
Yeah.
week.
It really just showed how soft the Chiefs defense was, I think.
But also how much of like an NFL quarterback that Herbert is. He wasn't a
Oh,
guy that was just like
100%.
he is a guy who can win you games.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're confident with him having the ball
In the last 2 minutes.
8 points down last drive of the game. Like you're confident with this guy. Like he
Yeah.
has got the biggest set of nuts on him.
Yeah. And you're
And
not gonna hate him too if he
yeah,
throws a pick or if he loses. He's our best option.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Herbert 26 for 38, 281 yards, 4 touchdowns. Potential player of the week, Mike Will made it. 7 receptions, 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. He is
Yeah.
finally breaking out to the player that they drafted him. You know, he was always considered as the guy who he was hot one week, he got maybe one
Ice
target.
cold. for
target in the
2
next
weeks.
game, right? Like he would always have two receptions for 32 yards, one reception for 20 yards, and then the next game he'd have six receptions for 168 yards, and then the next he just wouldn't get a reception at all. Now he's
Yeah.
finally been consistent, and he could be the wide receiver one this year. That's how good
Yeah.
he's been playing. But it's good to finally see him do that, especially in a contract year.
Oh, 100%. And if LA ends up moving on from him, he could potentially even get more money.
100%, because Keenan Allen's also in the contract year. So you
Yeah,
have to
second contract year.
like, who are you going to pick? Are you going to pick the
Mm-hmm.
50-50 ball guy who kind of easier to game plan around
Yep.
because he doesn't have a tremendous route tree. In my opinion, I'd go, just depends what term you want, because Keenan Allen, he's 29, Mike Williams is 26.
Yeah.
I know it's only 3 years, but Keenan Allen plays a type of style where he can have a Larry Fitzgerald like career. Like I know he had an ACL injury, no?
I think so. Yeah, a couple years back.
So, but I mean, that's kind of put a tag on him that he's injury prone. But he's only missed like a game here and there. Keenan
Mm-hmm.
Allen, I think I would keep him if you can if you can sign both of them back without losing too much around you,
Mm-hmm.
then bring both. But if I were you, or not if I were you, but if I were the LA, I think I'd go Keenan. But I mean, Mike Williams is still breaking out at the right time.
Oh yeah. And I mean Keenan Allen's definitely the way to go.
Yeah,
He's definitely the one you want because he's the more uh
consistent.
dynamic, yeah, more consistent, dynamic player where it's like his route tree, like you were saying, is just so much better than Mike Williams is. And Mike Williams, this is his 1 year so far. It could be an outlier year for all we know.
Yeah,
It could also just be Justin Herbert actually realizing that he has more to throw to.
yeah,
And who knows, like a new offensive scheme coming in could also just be the best for both of them, plus
exactly.
Austin Eckler, and then plus all the backup running backs with an emergence of soon to be Donald Parham and a serviceable yet could fumble away a seasoned Jerry Cook. So, you know, who knows?
Exactly. Well, yeah, I totally agree with you there. Next game, kind of a sleeper one. Atlanta Giants. Youngwei Koo kicks the game-winning field goal
Snooze
for
fest here.
yeah. It was nothing special. Saquon finally has a decent game. 50 rushing yards, 50 receiving yards, touchdown. Nothing crazy, but it's good to see him back in the end zone. This might
Yep.
give him a little bit of confidence going forward. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this was kind of a snooze fest. It was, yeah, it wasn't anything crazy.
I'm listening to like a podcast, and this guy's a big Giants fan, and he said that he would bet something that either Gettleman is relieved of his duties or Jason Garrett's going to be out of there. And I would not be mad with either one of those things happening because Garrett plays way too conservative in the red zone, and Gettleman is a senile old fuck
Yeah,
who has only like Kadarius Toney. What the hell are you doing? Why are you not using this guy? This guy was drafted in the first round for a reason for you guys.
I know. I know. I know. It's blasphemy. I hate it when they draft assets and they don't use them properly. It's like if you game plan so much to like draft this guy, then you have to have a purpose as to why you're drafting him. You can't just say, "Oh, a receiver. Okay, we'll take him." Oh no, it's not what we wanted, so we're not going to play you.
Yeah,
It's like you knew what you were going to use this guy for because that's why you drafted him. So why don't you actually do it? Because I can almost guarantee that there's someone that he can, or like he's better than the other guy you're using for.
100%.
But
And at that position they were at when they drafted back, you know, excuse me, look at who they could have gotten.
Rashad Bateman,
Yeah,
Elijah Moore.
I'm not even talking about receivers. I'm talking about
Oh, oh,
like linemen,
yeah.
like certified ballers at
Couldn't
linemen
they
right now.
couldn't they got Vera Tucker, the guy who's got
Yeah,
drafted by the
because the
Jets?
Titans got him.
The
Or the Jets,
Jets,
sorry, the
yeah,
Jets.
Jets got him.
Very yeah, my bad. And even on defense too, like getting another serviceable cornerback, and
Yeah,
um it just it's shocking. It's shocking that uh the Giants are doing this. And the biggest kick in the dick was like how they were giving more targets to I forget what his name is, but his number was number 15. And it was like a waiver pickup for the Giants. Like that's how irrelevant this guy was. And he led the team in targets. Like
yeah.
you signed Kenny Galladay as well. Why would you
I know.
sign Kenny Galladay? I just don't understand.
Yeah, the Giants are a hilarious franchise to say the least. It's
Yeah.
yeah, they're a laughing stock for
If
sure.
Eli Manning wasn't a thing, you would be the joke of the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. Even if they just didn't have the title, like if they didn't play in New York, then they may as well be Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But it's just because they're the New York Giants, they always get primetime games or a lot of attention, even though they shouldn't.
Yeah. No,
And
100%.
and OBJ wore the jersey too, so
Yeah, OBJ made that one catch, so
yeah. And Saquon's there, like, but this team still is hot garbage. Like there's
100%.
it had a percentage on the screen today of NFC teams' percentage chance to win the division. The Giants had 2% chance to win the division. It was like
And it's week 3.
it's week 3.
You're only one game behind Dallas. Oh no, you're not one game. You're 2 games behind Dallas.
Yeah,
But yeah, you're 1 game behind Washington. Like,
it's laugh out loud funny about how much of a joke that team is.
oh,
Um,
100%.
Next game, another interdivisional game, Bengals versus Steelers. Bengals beat the Steelers. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. Joe
I have a
Burrow, pretty conservative game, 14 for 18, 172 yards, 3 touchdowns. There like wasn't a whole ton, but holy shit, how bad is Ben Roethlisberger, man?
oh my god. Oh, quickly, did you see that? Oh wait, no, I showed you that one play of Ben Roethlisberger
Yeah,
rolling out. He throws the ball and falls. And
it's it's oh my
oh my
god.
god. I have a funny stat though. Guess what year the last time the Bengals beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh was?
In Pittsburgh?
Mm-hmm.
So the Bengals beat them last year, but that was in Cincy.
That was in Cincy.
In
And it's been
Pittsburgh?
like yeah, it's been like that for a lot of years. A lot of years.
I'm
Just
gonna
Cincy beating them in Cincy.
So how many years has it been since he's won in Pittsburgh?
Uh-huh.
30 years.
Might as well be. 1995
1995.
was the
How long
last
how long
time.
ago was that? 26 years? Yeah.
Yeah, 26 years.
I was close. I'll take
Yeah,
that. 26 years. And you play them
26 years.
at least you play them
You play
once
them once
a
every
season
year in your
in
stadium.
Pittsburgh.
Hmm. Yeah.
They are now was that their 26th game or the 27th?
I don't know. There could be like
Probably.
28 to like 30 because who knows about playoff games.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True.
So that's just shocking.
God.
It's shocking. And yeah, no, this Big Ben looks toast.
Yeah, he was done like 2 years ago.
I mean, like last year though, he was making some really competent throws. Like that
Yeah,
one
but
throw in the first game to Chase Claypool, like that was a good throw. He makes decent throws. It's just like Big Ben looks like just like actual Big Ben, like the tower. Like he
yeah,
just doesn't move.
yeah. And when he tries to, he trips over his feet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's brutal to watch, man. But
Joey B
it's
though.
Joey B. Yeah, he had a pretty efficient game. Did you see that interception that he threw too? I know he threw two, but
Yeah,
there was one that was
the
really
one that
bad.
really, yeah.
There was a receiver in double coverage down the
Mhm.
field, and then 5 yards prior to that, there's a linebacker looking at him, dead on, and Roethlisberger throws it right to the linebacker. Right,
Roethlisberger.
yeah, Roethlisberger
Yeah,
throws it right to the linebacker, right in the numbers, and the
you
guy
said
just,
Burrow at this. You said Burrow at the first part, so I was really confused there.
oh, Roethlisberger, yeah,
Yeah, no, Roethlisberger. Yeah, yeah, no, I saw that one. Double
so bad.
coverage, throws it, and the
Double,
linebacker's just right there.
like right in the path. Like, did Roethlisberger? How did he not see him? Even if you that first of all, it's a bad throw to start off in double coverage if you get it past the linebacker. But how did you not see the linebacker there?
I was thinking like he was trying to throw it to the ground, but he just
It wasn't
like
even anywhere close to the ground.
no,
It it
and that was
was
the thing
it was
too. It's
right
just
here. It was right here. The guy just went, okay, thanks, and then
yeah,
I think he
no,
returned it to the house, but I'm not too sure. I can't remember exactly, but
it was just bad. It
it
was
was
ugly.
so brutal. But Jamar Chase, of course, he was on my bench and he decided to ball out. 65
Classic.
yards and 2 touchdowns. Don't even get me started, brother. Colts Titans. Titans defeat the Colts 25-16. Derrick Henry rushed a lot. This
Classic.
game, 28 attempts, 113 yards. Yeah, honestly, not a really exciting game. I'm kind of laughing at myself because I guess the Colts to win this division and they're 0-3. So, um,
I mean, when you made that prediction
yeah.
though, you were going off of Carson Wentz playing 80% of his MVP self. Mans hasn't looked like 20% of his MVP self.
And now I was
Like,
also saying just like their roster is better overall. Like I thought their defense would be able to win them some games, whereas the Titans sometimes they'd have to rely on Tannehill outdueling in a shootout, and
yeah,
sometimes it's hard to benefit on. But like I was thinking, like if Wentz could just almost be just slightly better than a game manager, I think they could be a lot better. But again, Carson Wentz, he tries to do too much. He hangs on
uh-huh.
to the ball for way too long, and he can't do anything. So
No, 100%. And it just like it doesn't even look like he wants to go through progressions. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And just think about it too. Like Indy gave up a first round pick for this guy. Like
I know.
that is gonna come back to bite them in the fucking ass next year.
Yeah, it would have benefited more probably like trading that first round pick up to like get someone else. But I mean, they
Uh,
have Sam Ellinger, and I think he could take over for Carson Wentz
yeah,
soon.
because
Because
Jacob Eason isn't the answer.
and Sam Ellinger, he's a gamer, and I think he
Yeah, I
can.
know you're very high
I
on him.
I love Sam Ellinger. He's not like the best quarterback, but he's a winner, and he's
Yeah.
gonna like find you. He's gonna find ways to like at least be more competitive. Like he will put his shoulder down for a first down, and I know that's scary because like high risk for injuries and like shoulder problems down the road. But
Yeah.
if you need someone to like he could be like a Taylor Heineke, but like I think a bit better. Like I think he's a guy who will like do anything to get a win.
Yeah.
And like I think he's gonna be a bit more serviceable than Heineke, in my opinion. But he's
Hmm.
similar to that, whereas like just throw him in there and like
See what he can do.
just sling it and just do whatever you need to do to like progressively get a good play in. So I'm excited to see Ellinger play. But by the way, I've pronounced his name different twice in just a matter of like a minute. I said Ellinger and then Ellinger.
Yeah.
30
I
seconds
wasn't gonna I
later.
wasn't gonna correct you about it,
I
It's your
honestly,
podcast.
I don't know. I switch it up every time I bring him up. I just Ellinger, and then like that same topic, I'll say Ellinger, and I'm like, I don't actually know what is how his
It's
last name's
like
pronounced.
it's like me with Kamara.
Come here, yeah.
Who
It's
cares?
it's like It's like when you were over when we were watching the game and you were like, "Let's go, Alvin." And he's like, "Alvin? I thought his name was Calvin." And we're
Yeah, your
like,
dad. Oh my God, classic
"Oh my
Paul right
God."
there.
Get him to say Tua's name. Funniest thing ever.
I bet you he looks at it and says, "No, thank you."
He tries it 6 times without even completing it once. He's like Tua tech tech tug tech and I'm like,
It's so
stick
funny
to
how people start off with
yeah
like tag and it's Tungavaloa.
yeah. But it's
Like,
not even like I say because it's TAG, so people say Tagovailoa. But it
uh-huh.
like that press conference he says like Tungavailoa.
Yeah,
But
like where the fuck is the N?
yeah, seriously, Hawaiians, bro, Hawaiians. Next game, Jets are shut out by the Broncos. Teddy B 235 for 4. Nope. That's all season. Yeah, he had nothing that game,
No touchdowns.
but he's been serviceable. Melvin Gordon played pretty good, but the Jets another atrocious game. Like
Yep.
Zach Wilson another 2 picks. Yeah, it's that
What
season.
can you do to be like Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence right now? Like you're such high draft capital
Yeah,
and your teams are doing nothing to help you. And
I know.
I give a little bit more credit to the Jets because Robert Saleh at least just tried to put an offensive line in front of Wilson. But injuries have gone a
Yeah,
little bit south for them, and
yeah,
just defense is just not holding up. The only bright spot was CJ Mosley when he hit Melvin Gordon, and that like they need more of that. They
yeah.
need more fire.
I agree.
And I believe in the next couple of years, it's just building up in drafts
Yeah,
and maybe acquiring some old veteran presence.
yeah. It's just patience, man. It's
Yeah.
patience. Miami, Vegas. This one was a thriller. Vegas edge out the Dolphins 31-28. Brissett, I mean, like he showed some big inconsistencies, but he came up clutch when they needed him to. Like that last
Mm-hmm.
drive of the game when they needed 8 points, and he orchestrated some good drives
Yeah, he did.
to get the touchdown to Will Fuller. Yeah, Will Fuller,
Was
and
it
then
Fuller? Yeah, it was Fuller. Yeah.
Fuller either got the 2 point conversion or Brissett got the 2 point conversion. It's one of the two.
I think, I
But
think, no, I think Brissett ran it in,
for
and
the
then Fuller got the
touchdown,
2 point. Yeah,
yeah, I think that's right. But
yeah,
no, yeah, he showed a lot of inconsistencies throughout the game, but he came up clutch when they really needed him to, which I think is vastly important. But
100%.
um, Derek Carr throws for 386 yards. 2 picks. No, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Hunter Renfrow had a good game, 77 yards and a touchdown. But I mean, Dolphins are a decent team. I know, like I've said, Brissett isn't their answer, but Tua wasn't like something that they were desperately missing. Like I
Yeah,
think Brissett was playing at the same level Tua was, but Dolphins are a pretty pesky team, and I think Raiders is kind of shows that they can play like they're a good football team. And I said it last podcast, but I myself was sleeping on the Raiders, and they have kind of shut me up a bit.
yeah, and you think about it, two of their games have gone into overtime and could very well have gone different ways because it was a last score wins or next score win situation, and the defense for them, it's feisty. Max Crosby and Carl Nassib and Yannick Ngakwe, that is a scary trio
Yeah,
on the defensive line, and the linebackers serviceable, and then that secondary, you just got ball hawks and hitters. So yeah, I we'll get into, or I want to get into the Raiders a little bit more because I kind of have some strong feelings about them, but the Dolphins, yeah, Brissett a little bit inconsistent at times. At least that he's hyper targeting Gesicki and Waddle. Those are his
Yeah,
two favorite targets. So, and you don't want a quarterback that has only one or two reads because then that's just going to be so exploitable come down the line a little bit. So,
100%. I agree with you there. Did you want to touch on your Raiders stuff, or
no,
did
no,
you
no.
want to do
It's
that
it's a little
later?
bit later.
All
A
right,
little bit later that I want to do it. Yeah.
sounds good. Next game. This one was labeled as one of the games of the week. I think, if not the game of the week, but LA Tampa Bay. Um,
Whew.
Rams win 34-24. I'm I know how dynamic this Rams offense is, but Tampa's defense has to play better.
Yeah. No Cam Akers, no problems. Air raid offense will do wonders. Cooper Cup going out for breakfast with Matt Stafford. That is a recipe for success. And yes, like you said, this Bucks defense, it looks super exposable right now.
Yeah.
That front seven can only hold up the run game so much. And in this game, there was no run game. There was no run game whatsoever. It was pass, pass, pass. And that's how you're going to beat either of these defenses.
And Deshaun Jackson having a day and a half. There was a few opportunities for them to connect, and it was either an overthrow or underthrow, or
Underthrow.
just like a misconnection. Then they finally connect on that one deep ball. Man,
Yep.
he's what is he, 34 years old, and he's
34 years old.
still bursting by everyone.
Him and Manny Sanders, man.
Yeah, it's like Deshaun Jackson, 3 receptions, 120 yards, and a touchdown with a long of 75.
That just gives me like the vibe of like that one Michael Vick throw in Philadelphia to Deshaun
Oh,
Jackson.
what was that, like first play of the game or something?
Yeah, first play of the game against Washington, 80-yard bomb.
Yo, that was a dart by Vic. That throw was unreal.
That was such a pretty throw. Like looking
Yeah,
at that throw, it's like I just came.
yeah. Um, Tom Brady, he still had a decent game. He was 41 for 55. He slung the rock. Um, Absolutely no running game from the Bucks as
Mm-mm.
well. But yeah, Brady threw for 430 yards and a touchdown. Uh, he got in to the end
Yeah,
zone for a
rushed.
touchdown, but uh, Mike Evans had 106 receiving yards, but just yeah, they couldn't necessarily get anything going.
No.
So
And that's what happens too. Like when you know it's going to be a pass team and all you have to do is stop the run like for three straight drives
yeah,
or three drives, that's totally fine. You can put seven people in coverage because it's like, okay, we know that our front four and our middle two linebackers are going to stop the run, so who cares? And it's such a one-dimensional team, and I know Brady's the GOAT, obviously, and the receivers for them, maybe Antonio Brown is a bigger piece that we're not seeing. Maybe he really takes off the top for that third receiver spot. So, yeah, who knows?
yeah, it's we'll see how it goes, but I'm still not worried about Tampa. I still like with their schedule. I think they're still a favorite in a lot of games, but just unfortunate. He played as well as he could have, and the wide receivers just couldn't really gain separation. But the Vikings defeat the Seahawks 30-17. Kirk Cousins had a very good game this week. 30 for 38, 323 yards and 3 touchdowns. Madison rushed for 112 yards. Jefferson had 118 yards in the air and a touchdown. Vikings just put it all together. That's the thing with this team is if they play to their potential, they're a tough team to stop.
Yeah, no, they are.
And yeah, Seahawks didn't really have an answer. Um, yeah, but what did you make of this game?
Uh, man, it's like the Vikings are a very, very good offense. They have a great running game and they have a great receiving game. It all just comes down to Kirk Cousins and how he can manage this offense. The defense, uh, it definitely came to play this week against, Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett did go down with an injury, but Chris Carson, and their two tight ends, Will Dissly and Gerald Everett. It's a high powered offense, and uh, the thing about Seattle, man, you gotta just keep the gas pedal on. Like, realize who your
Yeah,
quarterback is in Russell Wilson, and stop playing so goddamn conservative. It's such a
I
piss
know.
off, man. I hate it because the Seahawks team is way better than who they are. It's just Pete Carroll, so fucking old. He thinks that it's still the 1950s and running the ball is so much more important.
Yeah,
It's just,
it's super
yeah.
frustrating for sure. Super frustrating. But yeah, uh not much else to say about this game, but the Sunday night football game was a game and a half. A
Mm-hmm.
game and a half, and I'm very happy I made the right pick. Packers +3. I think that was the right pick, and in the end, we'll get to it, but you were right, and yeah, Green Bay wins 30-28. San Francisco scoring with 37 seconds left, and then Rodgers 37 seconds, no timeouts, drives what 55 yard or like 40 yards down the field. Three quick tosses to Devontae Adams, and
And a field goal to win the game.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
like my if you just let me give my piece about this.
yeah,
I
go for it. Go
do
for it.
think that obviously in the end it was you left him too much time. And every Green Bay Packer fan who was at the game and who was watching the game from home knew that there's enough time on the clock for Rodgers to drive down. And I knew that as well. But for San Fran, if you're on the one, if you look at the Cowboys, right, tonight, there's no guarantee you're getting in the end zone. And when you have as touted of a defense as you say you have, then I think 30 seconds, you need to be able to trust your defense to get at least one stop and not play zone coverage when Devontae Adams is on the field because he is going to find that soft spot. And Rodgers, being one of the best quarterbacks of all time, is going to find him.
Mm-hmm.
37 seconds, you have to trust your defense and you have to guarantee yourself points to win the game.
Yep.
And so I think it was like it was right to score the touchdown, but in hindsight, it wasn't right to score the touchdown. And if Rodgers throws a few not interceptions but incompletions, or if they pick it off or they get him in the backfield and next thing you know they're 15 yards back and still no timeouts.
Yeah. No, then we're not talking
So,
about this at all.
but we are talking about it because Rodgers fucking got a field goal and left him too much time on the clock. So you were right in saying that they left too much time. I'll let you speak your piece about this game.
Well, damn. Shout out Speaker Peace. Uh
Great pod. Check them out.
um yeah, no, like I remember when we were there, I was like, okay, you don't want to score this because who knows how much time is going to be left on the clock. And as soon as I saw Kyle Juszczyk wide open, I was like, oh, perfect. Dump it off to Juszczyk. And Juszczyk is a smart enough player to realize that wasting the time is so much like better than just scoring right away. And I know it's 37 seconds, but you have three timeouts. You have
Yeah.
four downs to go at the one. Green Bay's defense, although they stopped the run that night, the 49ers did not run the ball whatsoever. I still trust the 49ers to do like a pitch play or Garoppolo to do a jump right over the fucking line
Or even
or
get Trey Lance
Kyle
in because it worked
do an
earlier that
option.
game.
Yeah. Like Kyle Shanahan is an offensive genius, right? And that is true. He orchestrates a great offense. I'll admit that. He has so much creativity around the goal line. And I thought Juszczyk should have played smarter than that. I thought
Yeah,
Juszczyk should have definitely got a first down so they could waste time, because you know who is on that other side of the ball, the king of the Hail Mary, the
yeah.
king of the MVP of last year. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
and he showed it last night. And yeah, he really I think the 49ers now, it's like, do they start really realistically looking at putting in Trey Lance and trying to get as much as they can for Garoppolo? Because
When's
if
their
you
bye
can't,
week?
I'm not sure. I'll look it up right now. But if you can't win that game, and it looks like you should have, yeah, no, that's really concerning for the 49ers,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest.
It just sucks to see it like yourself in third place in your division and you're 2-1. It's just like that division's so good. And you kind of got you're kind of fucked when you're in the same division as the Rams, and Rams have Matt Stafford now and are even better than um last year, but the 49ers are still 2-1, so I'm not counting them out at by any means, but I do agree with you in the end that um use check
Yeah, Kyle Juszczyk.
he could have handled that a bit better, but obviously you never know. He was probably just thinking about putting his head down, player's instinct, get in. But he should have dropped down because yes, they should. They had the opportunity to utilize timeouts and stuff. But
100%. And their bye week is in week 6.
so I think take Garoppolo to bye week, see where you're at.
Yeah.
Give Trey Lance the extra week
See
to
what he can make do.
yeah, and then put him in depending on how Garoppolo does. Because if he goes beast mode these last few weeks. But if they start losing games because they're not putting enough offense on the board, then I think you should try Trey Lance at a game.
I agree.
And if you want to avoid the media, then just say Garoppolo's questionable because he hurt his hand in practice or some shit,
Yeah, exactly.
just to avoid media attention. But Monday brought us the Eagles Cowboys, and whole Cowboys played a very stellar game this week. And we're not going to talk about it too much because Jalen Hurts started off very slow, and we were kind of talking before that he only played really one good quarter of football, and that was like the last half of the third. Or maybe you can
Mm-hmm.
give him a quarter and a half. Like he played decent the third quarter and then like the first half of the fourth. But all of his stats are kind of padded from that part one bit trying to throw back into the game. But before, the Eagles
Yeah.
offense was one of the worst I've seen in
Oh,
the past couple
100%.
seasons. They were terrible. The Eagles defense was getting ran on. Zeke and Pollard feasted tonight. And Dak Prescott had one of the better games, one of the more efficient games that he's played. 21 for
Mm-hmm.
26, 238 and 3 touchdowns with an asterisk non-rushing TD. And you can start talking about that.
Well, yeah, I know we were talking about that right away, and I was like, how is this not a touchdown? Like, I get it. You can't see the ball from the side, but you can line up two videos together, and maybe you can kind of see where he extended his arms to where the camera showing above was, because you look on Instagram and Twitter and it's like, how is this not called a touchdown? Like, Dak Prescott clearly ran this in, and obviously it didn't affect the outcome anyways, especially when the next drive they go down and score a touchdown. But
You don't know
I
that in
don't
the
know.
moment.
Exactly. That one touchdown really could have costed them. And it's whatever. It didn't affect the game, so no one's going to really pay attention to it. Although when we go back with officiating, like, that's trash. That's trash officiating right there. And even the fact that it was a turnover on downs, it should be looked at. And then there's people in New York. Like, why aren't they saying, yeah, actually he crossed the plane?
Because
I just
the two camera angles that they were relying on, there was two guys blocking the sight of the ball or Dak Prescott in general. So like it's all about what is the ruling on the field. If the ruling
Yeah,
on the field was a touchdown, that's a touchdown because there's not enough
there's
evidence to
no conclusive
overturn it.
evidence. Yeah,
But since it
yeah.
wasn't called a touchdown, there wasn't enough to call it a touchdown because I was testing this out with myself because I was looking at the camera angle that I saw on social media, and I was reaching my hand out, comparing it to a line on my carpet, right? And I was
Hmm.
looking at it, and I lined it up that it was just short of like maybe half of a hand not touching it or over top of it. And it looked like it was over looking from it from my arm's length. The depth perception is huge because when I was looking at the photo, I was looking at players on the line
Hmm.
or what looked to be on the line. And then I was looking at where the ball was in comparison to where the player was. There was a player who was on the line, whose feet were on the line, and the ball was in line with his shoulders, and he was leaning forward. And I was like, I don't know if that ball is over top of the plane. Like, I'm not too sure. And I saw from the side angle, obviously, a player could have been blocking that,
Yeah.
blocking the angle that I saw. And like, I didn't see the full scene of the stretching the ball over. But from what I saw the line, and that ball didn't make it to the line. And, but I thought he got in when he dove in, when he like tried to push himself in. I thought he
Yeah.
crossed. And then
And
when he
that's
got up, I never thought he reached the line with the reach because he was being pushed back as he reached. And I don't think the ball made it to the line. But I thought he got in from the original
and
dive.
that's yeah, and that's another thing too. Like when you dive into the end zone as a football player, I'm sorry, but you're not holding the ball down, by your stomach. When you go into the end zone, you're holding it up high, because you want that little reach. You want that quick reach. You don't want it down low and then try and like do some shit underneath. You have it up top. So when Dak's body was in the end zone and they weren't calling it yet, like I get it. People blocking, no conclusive evidence, weird depth perception of camera angles. You play that all into effect. Exactly. If it's called a touchdown, it wouldn't have been reversed. It's called the turnover on downs. It wasn't reversed. Didn't matter the outcome. But if it did, that call is so crucial.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and
So,
like we sound like a broken record, but it is the if it's called a touchdown, everyone's like, okay, yeah, it's a touchdown, it's whatever. But like if it's not called a touchdown on the field, then people are like, I don't know, there's not enough evidence to overturn it. Like I
yeah.
like right? So and that was me. Like if they overturned it and said it was a touchdown, I'd be like like I thought he did get in with the original push, but I never thought that he got in with the reach because I thought an Eagle player blocked it too. But then again, there wasn't good enough angles, and he could have been in. But I
Yeah.
do think it should have been a touchdown though, because I thought he got in with the original push. But like we do in the past couple episodes, Hayden, give me your player of the week and your kind of disappointing player of the week.
Well, player of the week. I know we have maybe some probably similarities. If you don't give it to Josh Allen, you're insane. James Robinson showing that he is the RB1. Love that for him. He deserves every little bit of it. That guy's a beast. Brandon Cooks, shitty team, great wide receiver, and tight end. I got Tyler Conklin. That guy,
Yeah,
Irv Smith. Yeah, I don't either. He got injured. Tyler Conklin's filling that role. He's a great player, great pass catcher.
yeah. I have a couple players as well, and I guess I can fall underneath the crazy train because I gave my player of the week to Matt Stafford because he
That's
was
fair too.
343, 4 touchdowns, very similar stat line to Josh Allen,
Mm-hmm.
and just like a bit more efficient, I guess. But I
Yep.
mean, they each played what are supposed to be good defenses, and they showed out. They did their job. Two good offenses, so you can't really take away, oh, one offense is better than the other. No, they're both on two very dynamic offenses. They just both did their job, and they both had very similar weeks.
Yeah, they
But
balled out.
another player of the week, Mike Williams. He had a very good day, 722 plus the game-winning touchdown.
Yep.
Excuse me. But my I'll give a third one, Justin Tucker, because he fucking set the record for
Because
the
yeah,
longest
no,
field goal, and
that's sick.
like you don't get a lot of credit to kickers, and he showed out. Like that's so clutch. That was like because they were losing. If he
Hmm.
didn't hit that, then they lose, right? And
Yeah,
it's massive. But
and he missed a field goal too, so that was like a big like I am still the most accurate
yeah,
kicker of all time
yeah,
and the biggest kicker of all time.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, no,
Who's
master at his
your
craft.
who's your disappointed player of the week?
So I have 11 players, disappointing players of the week.
Give me, give me one. I'll give you one,
Oh
and then
no, no,
you
no,
can.
it's fine here. The Washington defense.
Oh,
Everyone on that defense was disappointing.
I can
Everyone on that defense.
I can play a similar card. The Bears offense.
Yeah. I
40
have
47 total yards of offense, and your quarterback threw for 68.
yeah. No, that's just so bad.
Like
That 47 total yards was David Montgomery. Like the majority of it was David Montgomery.
I was gonna give it to Justin Fields because if you obviously this isn't his fault because no he wasn't saying I should be starting, but everyone else was saying that this Bears
He
offense
should
would be
be.
so much better if Justin Fields is behind center, including myself. I said that, and it couldn't be more opposite.
Yeah, eat crow, bitch.
It's yeah, I drafted him in our redraft fantasy league because I was like, when he starts, man, he's gonna
Yeah.
be in my starting lineup. And
Oh boy. What an idiot you are.
I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. But yeah, this was a very fun week of not fantasy because I lost both weeks, but this is a very entertaining week of football. And this kind of moves us into next week. There's one game that I'm very much looking forward to,
Oh, I think it's the same game every person in America is looking forward to.
and that is the Buccaneers versus Patriots Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football. How does the NFL just statistically line this up? Brady needs 65 yards to pass the greatest of all time passing quarterback and Drew Brees. And it could be done by the first quarter. And it's going to be emotional. You know, for every Saints fan, it's going to be emotional. For every sports fan, it's going to be emotional. You know, when you play in the league for 22 years, you should have over 80,000 and some odd passing yards. You should have the record for most touchdown passes. You should have the record for literally everything. And yeah, it's going to be an emotional night. And I can't wait to see Drew, give him uh, that honor of saying, here you go.
Yeah.
You know what I
You know,
mean?
you know who's not going to be emotional? Bill Belichick.
Oh my God.
He's going to walk
If
out there and be like,
if Bill doesn't come over and give him a hug and say congratulations, then you can clearly tell who won that battle. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So yeah.
And looking at the rest of the week, there's like three other good games. There isn't like anything standing out, but there's one.
I'm not trying to be a homer. The Saints game is probably going to be one of the most emotional games since Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, is it in New Orleans?
Yeah, it's after Hurricane Ida, their first home game.
Yeah.
That dome is going to be fucking rocking.
Yeah. And
And it's going up against an easy opponent.
it was almost like the Vegas home opener, Vegas
Mm-hmm.
Golden Knights home opener after the Vegas shooting.
Yeah.
Like it was rocking, and
Oh yeah.
they
Something about
yeah,
tragedies that just, bring the city in
yeah,
and, all the adversity, like people just got to sleep in their own bed in New Orleans for the first time last night in a
yeah.
month. Like,
It's so crushing.
yeah, be ready for this game to be like 47-10.
Yeah, honestly, Jameis Winston is going to sling it.
Oh, if he doesn't sling it this game, uh like I don't even care if this
Cut
man
him.
has 3 interceptions. If he doesn't at least have 6 touchdowns and 400 yards,
400.
it's
I'm expecting 500. Give me a 500-yard Jameis Winston game.
oh my God, dude. If that happens, it's just gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit.
Yeah. But that game is going to be good like you said. The NFC West are playing
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, 49ers. That should be some couple good games. And then Sunday not Sunday night. That's Bucks.
Monday night.
Pats. No, it's Sunday night.
No, I'm saying is it the Monday night game that you're saying is gonna be a good one?
I was gonna say Steelers Packers.
Packers should
It should
probably
bully
kill
them.
them.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Monday night game should be good too. Raiders Chargers. That should be a pretty fun, exciting game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hayden, as you know on the show.
Oh wait, I want
do-
to I want to do my little
Oh
thing
yeah,
first.
do your Raiders bit. Do your Raiders bit.
Oh, okay. Well, what team, in your opinion, looks the most fraudulent?
Okay, like they're worse than the record portrays.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna give out one because this is what I think, but I think the Raiders are a pretty fraudulent team right now. I think they got Baltimore on a really devastating week. I think Pittsburgh isn't as good as we think we are, and Miami just came off of another devastating week. Those are 3 recipes for disaster of all 3 teams they've gone against. And as much as I like the defense, I just don't think they've played an offense that is set in stone with a lineup that they've gone into with the starting with the week.
I, the Titans.
The
I
Titans,
mean, like they're 2-1, but I don't know. They're a team that I think if you can get a quick jump on them, then
just like Arizona.
yeah. Arizona though, I like Kyler Murray, and I just yeah like yeah I guess Arizona they're pretty sus 3-0 team. Like if it wasn't for their slow play, then like if their slow play was against any other team than the Jaguars this week, then I think they're 2-1.
Yep.
So
And
yeah,
then they definitely could have had that field goal kicked on them
against the Vikings,
against Minnesota.
yeah. No, yeah, I think Arizona could is a pretty fraud team. I don't know. I think I like the Raiders. I don't think like I don't think they're frauds. Like I still think like, they're a team that if every player's hitting on the right note, then I think they can be this good. And obviously that's with a lot of teams. But I think the Raiders still have some decent players on their team that I don't know, they're kind of doing their job against each opponent. And when you said Baltimore off a bad week, is it the running back situation?
Yeah, they were kind of scrambling, with obviously um J.K. Dobbins went down a little bit, early, and then it was like, okay, it's Gus, but then Gus went down, Justice Hill went down, and then it's like, who's Tyson Williams? Oh, let's bring in Latavius Murray. Oh, let's bring in Devonta Freeman.
I don't think that really mattered that game, to be honest.
I think it did, just the same way I think like having Tua not there and Brissett there, it's a different game plan. Because I think Dobbins and Gus add a lot more dynamic running ability than Tyson and Latavius Murray.
I agree too, but Lamar Jackson does like 50% of the running there. And I think Raiders just played as good as they could against Baltimore. Like I just think they played a really good game against Baltimore. And
True. All right.
I don't think that their running back situation did that big of a I just think Lamar played like shit. Like he had 3 fumbles and 2 of them were lost. And it was like they just
Yeah,
kind of
no,
they
that's very
exposed
true.
Lamar. I just think they played a very good game. And
That's very true, and it definitely could be just that, but that is also like the same reason as to why I think uh Vegas had maybe a little bit more, because it's like I know Lamar does most big majority of the running, but you got to respect the other running backs. You know what I mean? Because as soon as you bite on Lamar, boom, someone's up the middle.
yeah, I know, but I just think you can give him a lot more credit than um like I know J.K. Dobbins is good, but if they shut him down, then I mean I I think that was a well I think that was a very deserved win on the Raiders side, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
But time for the press. We got a question from Ian. Do the Seahawks stink? And I don't think they necessarily stink. I don't know how to describe the Seahawks, to be honest.
I think I think I put it perfectly when I say I think they play way too conservative, and that's not how they should play.
Yeah,
They could
there's
literally win every game if they just let Russell Wilson be Russell Wilson.
yeah. It's just they're a weird team.
They
They're just a
are.
weird team, and I don't really know how else to put them. Like I don't know what Seahawks I'm getting. I'm always expecting them to be in the lead, and then the next thing you know, I go to the bathroom and they're down 2 scores somehow, and I'm like,
Some way,
what?
somehow.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What just happened? But yeah, I don't know. Last question that I'll kind of ask: how do you think Josh Gordon does in the Chiefs? Do you think he makes any sort of impact on this team? Probably in the next 4 weeks, he'll really be in the offense, in my opinion. Like by the halfway point is when you'll really kind of start noticing him. I don't think he's really good. He's on the practice squad right now, and he's going to be on there for probably a week
A week.
and a half.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if he'll be moved up this week, but um I don't think he's gonna be fantasy relevant at all. Um, but I do think that he could be a part in this offense. It's just, where do you put McCole Hardman and where do you put Robinson now? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So
I think like Josh Gordon could be like a red zone receiver for the first bit.
yeah,
Like
he could be someone to take the eyes off of Kelsey.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I think they might implement him. Like just like throw him in the 20 and in
Mm-hmm.
for like a goal line fade or just like an in route at the back of the end zone or
Yep.
because Josh Gordon's a pretty good 50-50 receiver. And if you can kind of throw it up, then I think he has a good
Give
chance
him a
of coming
chance.
down with it. But
Yeah.
Hayden, man, this was fun. It's always fun to have you on the podcast, but where can the people find you?
Man, I've been on here so many times. They should just know I'm basically like the second host. I'm kidding. On
You pretty
Instagram.
much are at this point. At
I
least during
mean,
football season.
at least during football season, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, Hayden underscore Barton on Instagram, Hayden underscore Barton on Twitter. Yeah, not really doing a lot. I love football. Who dat?
Who dat? All right, you guys know where to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I plugged it at the beginning of the show, but most importantly, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Left Side Heavy. Let's get that subscribers up. Intro outro music is Savage by Tom Ivory featuring Six Man, part of the Get Well Soon mixtape. And once again, Hayden, this should be fun. Pats, Bucks next week should be an absolute doozy. I'm very excited for that game. I'm going to be having my NHL fantasy draft for that. And coming soon, NHL is upon us. There will be an NHL preview show. Waiting on a guest. He's still unsure, but that episode will be coming soon. And kick back and relax this week.
Ooh.
Having on a friend who it was very funny how we all met or how we met our friends, but Troy Hatt, he is an actor slash writer slash producer. He lives down, he's back and forth from here in LA, but he's a very good guy and he's coming on Kick Back and Relax. So that will be coming this Friday. Be sure to tune in and we will see you guys next time.
I just gotta let go. Went from ducking, fucking, and now I got put in the friend zone. There's no need for discussion, I just really love